Welcome. Your journey begins now. All systems operational.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tactical Advance here, and welcome back to some more Star Citizen. Now today we are looking at a fantastic ship, guys. I've had some great fun in this ship. It is the Mustang Delta. Now, it's a very small ship, light fighter, single-seater, and it's got sort of reinforced armor. There is a racing variant of this as well, but it's got some fantastic features. The armor, the weapons, the missiles, this is just an all-round fantastic. It's just such a fun ship to play, guys. Anyway, let's have a look around the outside first of all. I love these little green engines. I wonder if I can get a bit more light on the subject there. You can actually see underneath a little bit, and the thrusters as well, and the maneuver thrusters you can see left and right. Let's see if we can change the view and have a look around a little bit, and actually we're going to go in that direction, I think. Just want to hit a rock. Forward animations are quite nice as well. Would like a little bit more of green stuff at the back when you accelerate. Maybe like a bit of a trail or something would look pretty cool. But the size 1 thrusters, but on such a small ship like this, I mean, it doesn't turn massively fast, but it turns. You know, you can flank someone quite easily. And I'll show that in the next bit of the video that's coming up in a minute when we jump into some Vandal Swarm. Let's have a look and see if we can see round. Slow down a little bit here. There we go. You can actually see. I don't know if you can see on top there, it's sort of got that checkered plating, sort of like little plates. It's almost like, you can see, there we go, you can see it on the wings there. See, it's almost like lead plating over the wings and everything. That's the reinforced armour that's actually on a ship. So, you know, you can see that there in the light. The weapon loadout for this is quite interesting. It's one of the first ships, actually, to come with, I don't know the right word to call it, really. 3 sets of weapons, the third one, which is the missiles don't lock. Now it comes with dumbfire missiles. I don't know if this is a bug, guys, but they don't make a noise at the moment. So I'm just gonna. Yep, that was one there. I think maybe made a little bit of a noise. But they're basically, they don't lock. There's no locking mechanism. So the only thing you can actually do is aim in the centre. It's non-gibbled, fire, bang. But they're very effective. Might look like a little puff of smoke there, but when you hit a ship, it's pretty much blows it up, to be fair. Now, the other weapons you've got as well, you've got fixed mount in the centre. This gun's pretty fun. I like this gun as well. It's a pretty cool gun to use. You have a gimbal mounted as well, which is this one. Which is gimbal quite nicely. It's got quite a wide arc as well on the gimbal as well, so if you're tracking a target, yeah, it does work quite well. Now, what we're going to do now is, it's actually, we'll have a quick look outside and see if we can actually see that. There we go, that looks pretty cool, doesn't it? We can't see the other ones, they're probably underneath, aren't they? See if I can get underneath a little bit. I should hit a rock first. Probably gonna... Yeah, probably not gonna be able to see them ones, are we? There we go, you can see underneath there, look, it's a bit of a... Try it again. There you go, you can see underneath there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to jump into some Vandal Swarm. I'm going to swap out the weapons, and I'm probably going to surprise you what I'm going to pick, guys, because... You need 3 buttons. I know you do on missiles, but rather than go for the obvious guys, which is the gimbals, I'm going to go for the fixed mounts. And do you know what? I had such a good time playing this, guys. This little bit of clip I'm going to show you went on for extremely long amount of time. I was having so much fun with the fixed mounts and the missiles. It's brilliant fun. Anyway, guys, let's flip over anyway. One sec. Right, here we are, guys. Now, if you've watched a couple of my other videos before, you'll be aware that I'm trying to improve my sort of fixed mount aiming a little bit. Now, because obviously once we get into some of these larger ships, I mean even like the Cutlass, some of the larger ships that don't have, let's say, gimbal mounted weapons, because a good example might be, you know, although you do sort of have gimbal mount on a Constellation, i.e. someone else has to be manning it, the centre gun's more than likely going to be fixed mount. And there's a lot of satisfaction where you get from a fixed mount. It's like, you know, lead timing and that sort of thing. So what I've decided to do in this round, I did a few rounds. The first round, what I did is I loaded up the gimbal mounted guns on this. They're still on there, they're just on a different button. Now, one of the advantages with this ship is missiles. One hit, unless you hit a wing. If you hit a wing, you take the wing off the Vandal. If you hit a centre hit, it's goodbye and it's good night. What I found is when I was using the gimbal mounted, I'll be using the gimbal mount to aim for the target, so clearly I'll be off center. So every time I wanted to use a dumbfire, I always suddenly had to move it to the center. So what I decided to do is actually to use the fixed mounts and the dumbfires. And that way then, because I'm always aiming on the center for the fixed mount, I then always have an opportunity to fire the dumbfire, and it worked really well. It did for me anyway, and I really enjoyed it. What I found with the Vandal, you've got to be a little bit careful when you're flying directly towards them. But when they're actually flying away from you, that's the sort of point you want to get on their tail. You can get quite close on their tail, you just want to keep following them until they get to a point where they're circling in a quite close proximity, and then just pull the center mount, fixed mount over the target, and then just fire that dumbfire. You don't always have to do it. I normally calculate it on how badly the ship's damaged. So say for instance I'm following a Vandal with no wings and nothing left, then I'm clearly not going to waste a dumbfire missile on him. I'm more than likely going to take him out with a fixed mount. The more that I use the fixed mount, the better I get at my accuracy with the dumbfire. I have tried firing the dumbfire at range, and I'll be honest, I got a couple of lucky shots. Did quite a long range one and got a hit. I find that medium to, you know, maybe within maximum of maybe 300-400. I mean, if you're shooting them further away than that, you're doing well. But that's what I found. The majority of the time, they're very close range. One of the other things you've got to be careful of is, and this sort of applies in Vandal Swarm across the board, particularly in this ship, although it does have good armor, you probably want to be focusing on targets that are either on their own or not necessarily in a pack of Vandal. Because if all of a sudden 3 or 4 start attacking you, then you start to have some issues. Then you probably need to degress, fly away, come back and then pick a target that's on his own. One of the other things I really like about this ship is the actual view. You can see through the floor. It is handy because it just gives you that full, well, you can actually see all around. I know the 300 series are actually sort of relatively similar, but I like the fact that you've got them cutouts as well. Looking forward to see how the center console lights up once the full HUDs are in play. That's going to be really interesting. So would I recommend this ship? Definitely. Absolutely fantastic ship. Now you probably noticed in most of the videos that I've made before, I don't normally use missiles. Purely for the reason of, you aim on your target, you press the lock button, and then you press fire. Now I know there is an extra added bonus there now, you can lock and do multiple missile lock. But the majority of the time, the missiles are going to do a one-shot kill anyway. I'm not saying that that's not skill-based. In Vandal Swarm, you definitely need to save their missiles. But what I found with these dumbfire missiles, it's a lot more skill-based. It's not just a case of locking onto a target. It's about taking that shot at the right time, leading the target, and making sure that that dumbfire missile hits the target. I actually prefer that type of gameplay than just physically firing off the missiles once there's an actual lock. All in all, guys, definitely recommend this ship. Absolutely great fun. You've got the best of both worlds. You've got the gimbal, you've got the fixed mount, which I like, and also you've got the dumbfire missiles. A lot more. They are more skill based, and you need to be relatively accurate. But all round, it's a very fun ship to play. I went from just going to do a couple of waves in Vandal Swarm to I just couldn't stop playing. I just climbed in. Very enjoyable ship to play. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this video today. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye now.